So I'm going to start talking about the exterior renderings. A couple of things that I do not want to see. One, I do not want to see this purple brick. That is very easy to fix. If I click on that and I go to edit type and I go to edit and I go to the brick and I click on that, I can go in and I can choose some other selections that are already here. Another thing I can do is right here, this has the brick burgundy. So if I click on that, you'll see there are some ones that are already loaded in here. So if I wanted to go with a gray or a brown, I could do that. So I'm going to pick gray and I'm going to say open. I'm going to say apply and I'm going to say okay and okay. Apply and okay. So now that I very easily changed the color of brick. I could do multiple colors of brick on my building if I wanted to. I could make this like a darker gray. I can do some different things. The other thing I don't want to see is the orange windows. They're a wood window. So again, I can go in and I can edit type and I can pick the sash material here and say I want it to be something that's black. It only gave me a couple of selections, but if I look down here, I have some other options for black. Again, don't ever try to pick from here. Either use the arrow to add it up here, double click on it, or something along that line. I am going to go with a plastic opaque black, and I can slide it up here, or I can double click on it or whatever. I just need to make sure I'm using it from up here. So I'm going to pick that. And I'm going to say apply, and I'm going to say okay, and say apply, and okay. And now I have windows that match. Then I would need to go and do that for doors that I have, etc. I can also come into my curtain wall. I can edit my mullions. Right now they're metal aluminum. So again, if I wanted to use that same black, I can change all of my framing to black. If you remember, I had changed these panels up here. So again, if I want to change my glazing, I can do that. If I come in here and put my cursor over it and hit my tab key, there I picked a panel. I can go to edit type and I can change the material and say I want it to be a mirror. Down here I have mirror. I can bring it up here, pick it, apply, say okay, apply, okay. So now I actually have a mirror. It looks kind of dark in here, but if I were to do a very quick rendering, you will see that it is now reflecting and having a mirror finish. So I can modify things. It's best if I duplicate and change instead of trying to change this one that's in here, because it may affect things that I don't want it to change. So I'm going to back up and put that back to regular glass. I can change the color of this glazing, different things like that. So say for instance, I don't like this brick. What I can do is I can go to the internet. I could search for a brick image that I like. So what I've got to look for are things that are straight on images. Like this is not a straight on image. You can see that these lines are a little bit angled. I want ones that I can see directly onto. I don't want ones that have weird shadowing on them. It needs to be a straight on look, also with no watermarks on it, those types of things. Like this would be a good one if that was something I was looking for, because it's a very straight on shot. So again, you can bring in your own materials, and we'll do that here in a minute, but I wanted to show you this for now. If we look through the assignment, it tells you how to add materials. I've already gone through that. You can adjust the materials themselves. So say if I go into my materials over here under manage and say this red carpet, and I go to appearance, you'll see it comes in as it is. If I click directly on that object, it's going to take me into the editor, and I can make some variations with that here. Like I can change the brightness to where it's a darker red by adjusting it here. I can change the size of the patterning if it had patterning to it, things like that. So I can make some changes there. I can also change the reflectivity. I can change the transparency, the self-illumination, the tint. Be careful doing this because you can really mess things up, but you can also just make some easy modifications that way. So say I decided I want to do something totally different with this wall. So I come in here and I go to my Manage tab and I go to my materials and I kind of look through what I've got through here. Well, I've got a ceramic blue tile. If I look at that, this is what it looks like. Say that's what I want my exterior of my building to be. What I can do is I can go to Modify and I can go to Paint and I can pick that ceramic blue tile. Then I can select this wall and now I have a ceramic blue tile wall. So I can use my paint to pick paint colors to actually paint my walls inside with. So when you're doing your interior renderings, you can actually paint them to be certain colors. So that's one way to modify things. Say we want to create a whole new material. That's usually your best option. So say I wanted a red tile. Again, I want to make sure I'm picking something that has a real nice pattern to it, that is very straight on shot, no weird shadowing on it. So I'm going to pick this one right here. And I'm going to save this image. And again, you want to make sure you save this wherever your file is. If you're moving files back and forth, make sure you move these files back and forth because it will lose its link to it if you're not careful.
If you do lose that connection, I can show you how to repair that, but if you save everything in the file with your model, you should not have any issues.
I have now downloaded this red tile. Now, if I come under my Manage tab and I go to Materials, and I come down here, you'll see I have this little plus sign. It says Creates and Duplicates Materials. So if I click on that, I want to do Create a New Material. And you'll see it says Default New Material. First thing I want to do is I want to rename that. And I'm going to call this Red Tile. So now if I click on Red Tile and I come over here, I want to go directly to here. You'll notice right now it has nothing tied to it. So right here is where I want to add this image that I just saved. So if I click in here and now I go back to where I just saved that, right there's my red tile and I say open, and now you see it gives me that indication, and I can change whatever transparency, etc. that I want about that. And I can say apply and I can say okay. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick the 6-inch concrete slab with carpet, and I'm going to do edit, and I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to change this to red tile. And I'm going to say okay. I'm going to go into edit. I'm going to change this, and now I'm going to go find that red tile that I created. I'm going to say okay. Say okay. Okay. And now, if I have this set to realistic, you see I have my red tile in there. So it's very easy to add materials. You just have to be very careful of what you select to make sure that it's a good view of it and that sort of thing.
In the next video, we will look at how to set up our views.